Well, I think it's a normal reaction. Of course, you have the investors, you have the general public, and the politics, which are two different voices, let's put it this way. We knew that today would be a day where this is a once in a blue moon historic number, the blast out number, best number ever on a banking. We know where that comes from, but combined with drama. And I think those two aspects have been highlighted to a different extent. Clearly, the good news is indeed that the stabilization came and that the market seems to de-risk what was out there and what was potentially something which still had some hidden dead bodies in the cupboard. That seems not to be the case for now. That seems to be under control, and I think the investors really react positively to that.
Well, key there is a couple of weeks ago, UBS said also that they're not going to be leaning on the government support anymore. So that sort of gave the initial boost, but of course we found out today that they won't be going down that route. Some people are saying that it gave them cover to keep the Swiss bank because it removes some of the political interference.
Well, it gave them the freeway to do whatever they want without any mingling of politics. Of course, that could still be in the public channels be the case, but I think that's something clearly that bought them free. The good news is that they had the capacity to do so, so that by itself was already a sign of strength, which shouldn't be underestimated either.
They've announced that as a function of this integration, 1,000 jobs are going to be lost, another 2,000 within Switzerland alone. What is going to be the public reaction to the announcements today? We spent a lot of time digesting the market reaction, but what are the people on the ground going to say?
Well, it's difficult to combine a blowout result like that, and then to announce layoffs at the same time. I mean, it's inevitable. They call it right-sizing instead of downsizing. So there's a bit of diplomacy going on there. I think there will be different waves of layoff in order to get to that integration and into the cost-cutting opportunity that is there. That's clearly positive for the investors. The general public, in the end, they want to have a solid bank because, as you mentioned before, 1/3 of Switzerland is banking with the group combined. They want to have a stable group. They don't want to have a mastodont created which is too big to save.
Yeah.
And I think this de-risking, this going from a risk culture to another one is clearly something that is going to be beneficial to the general public in the end.
Do the general public believe that Armati and Kelleher are the right men to be leading this?
Well, I think for now they are. Clearly, they have brought that stabilization. One should never underestimate the task they have ahead of them, and they are playing on different levels in order to make sure that all the holes are stopped and that this is clearly going forward in the way that they wish it to go forward, going concern as if UBS was going. So they need to mold it and compatibilize it all and that's going to take time. I mean, just to integrate the systems, the people, the divisions into the new setup is going to take a lot of time.
Yeah, a monumental task for them to achieve. And of course, they did announce that huge number, 10 billion in cost savings. I want to go back to another point that people are picking up on, the fact that net new money has started to come in again. That's a positive sign.
It is. I think one needs to be careful with that number. It might slow down a little bit because at this stage, I think a lot of clients were waiting to what would happen with the integration primarily in Switzerland. A lot of institutional clients, they had two banks, they want to diversify. If it is one combined bank, they might actually look for another one to do that de-risking on their own balance sheet again. So that might reduce it a little bit. But I think, again, it's a sign of trust of the task, of the solidity of the new bank and the way forward. I think this can only be cheered. And if they can, play that out on a global level, then I think the bank is on a good path.